Schwarz, who kicked 9 goals last week against the Sydney Swans. So we get underway at the MCG, and Harry Madden wins the first hit out. It comes underfoot, goes to Brett Lovett. A high ball out of the centre square. Silvani from behind Lyon. What a match-up that will be. Silvani's been in great touch. Kicks that perfectly. It bounces just inside the line. Good afternoon, Peter McKenna.
Good afternoon, Drew. Good afternoon, Terry. And what a match-up, as you said. As we have a look at the temperature, expected maximum 21 and currently 20. A beautiful day for football. Jason Norris tried to get his boot to it. Socket off the ground. That was by Greg Williams. The Williams, already he's got another touch as he gets it to Andrew McKay, the former South Australian, brings it in towards half forward. Hopgood races at the ball. That was a good attempt. They dive on top of it, and I'm sure the umpire will bounce this one in the centre of the ground. Interesting, Terry. Looking out there, Matthew Hogg picking up a danger play for Melbourne in Todd Viney.
Yes, he has, and some of the other matchups, we have Peter Dean with David Schwarz at centre-half back, Andrew McKay and Glenn Lovett at half-forward, and Sexton and Pike down in the goal square.
Here's Greg Williams again, going defensively, finds Christou near the centre circle. Kicked by Ange Christou. Not great distance, a lot of height, to the 50. Spalding in front, no mark. Tingay gives the hand pass away to Hannah. Pops the hand pass over the top. Here's Spalding with a bit of a fumble. And the Melbourne defence tied up. And we'll have a ball up about 40 metres out.
Yes, a costly fumble because they had loose players too.
They did, and Greg Williams some early touches. Andrew Obbs is his direct opponent, in contrast to Brett Lovett taking him on the last 2 occasions.
So the bounce, Spalding doing the ruck work. Hand passes from Dyson. He's looking out for Hopgood, who kicks it away from Bond. Bond's got a lot of pace, so he races out to the half-forward line, gives a hand pass back. Here's Kurtafini's bringing it back in front of goal. Curtahan at the back. No mark. Fraser Brown into an open goal for a goal. Great start for the Blues. First blood, a goal kicked by Fraser Brown.
And Fraser Brown now playing at half-forward. Probably made his name as a wingman, but has slotted into the half-forward flank with the introduction of Kurtafidis and Hannah to the wings for the Carlton side. 7 goals 2 weeks ago against Richmond. Missed last week's game, and a perfect start for him and for his team.
First blood to the Blues. Madden gets it underfoot again. Williams bowled over, and the umpire comes in and will ball it up. The umpires today, David Howlett, Brian Sheehan and Brett Allen. Brett Allen doing his first final in his 3rd season. They've met once this year. Carlton won 18-13 to 13-16. In fact, they've won their last 3 meetings over the last 3 years. Phoebe, Matthew, out of the centre square. McKay is there. Glenn Lovett, Silvani, straight ahead football. Well done by Stephen Silvani. Up at centre wing, chance for Dyson. Early jitters from some players here. Garry Lyon goes wide to Tingay. Kick partly smothered. Might have been a free kick to Phoebe. Grabbed by Mitchell. Christou, centering kick. Kurtafidi straight up the centre of the ground. Curtahan leads away from White. Spalding in front of him. They spoil each other, the 2 Carlton forwards. Grabbed by Neitz.
Yes, I thought Spalding got in the way of Curtahan, who might have marked
Curtahan
that.
has the right of way, coming straight onto the ball from behind the plate. You should not run backwards to mark. You should only go forward. Spalding was in the wrong position then.
Well, there's the bench. James Cook and Adrian Whitehead on the bench. It's Tony Lynn there. Yep. Now it's tapped further afield. Kurtafidis again up towards half forward. Curtahan caught behind the Demons defence worker. Good tackle, Tommy Alvin. A chance for Alvin as he hooked it out, but Dyson's good enough to go and get it and hook it back towards the half-back line. And that looks like Norwich waiting underneath that. It is. And Barry Mitchell waiting on the mark.
Yes, Norwich has been paired up with Mitchell for the afternoon.
Carlton, a goal to nothing. That ball's just over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in. Fantastic conditions here for the start of finals this weekend. Carlton favourite 9-4 on. Melbourne just snuck into the final 8 by winning their last game. Going into the last round, they were 9th.
And Drew, there must be early nerves after the football that was played yesterday. 2 tremendous games of football. These two sides will be full of expectation.
Free kick to Madden, up towards half forward. Bond in front. And the youngster from Port Adelaide takes the mark.
That's a brilliant mark. Troy Bond, Neil Baum looking on the coach as he brings it in towards Curtahan at the back, Sean White at the front. A chance for Carlton as Gleeson gets it further afield. Here's Matthew Hogg. He goes to ground. Oh, they go in hard. Gleeson caught one high. And up by Brian Sheen.
Bit softly
that. I think he accentuated it a bit.
He certainly did. As we're seeing here, he comes in on the spin. No one really takes him anywhere there, and he conned the umpire into it.
I think Todd Bonnie might have given him just a little clip across the ear, but not a lot in it.
I would expect finals would be a little bit tougher than that.
Adrian Gleeson for Carlton second from directly in front. He kicks a goal. Great start with the Blues. 2 goals they've kicked. Melbourne yet to score.
And Gleeson has been very much a handy player in terms of the forward line for the Carlton side. They've got a number of players who will slot in, and he's kicked 4 goals twice this season. Now this is his 24th goal for the season, and in the better players last week is a valuable balance to the Barry Mitchell.
Irving might have got slightly the better of Madden. Hobbs hand pass intercepted by McKay. His kick out wide. Bond leads the race. He's quick. 45 metres out. A centering effort. Alvin. No mark. Play on. There's Brown.
Drew, this is a test of Neil Baum's convictions now with Jim Stein sitting on the bench and Melbourne being Carlton being dominant, particularly out of the centre bounces. He'd be starting to think about it, I think.
Well, it's 15 metres out from the Carlton goal. Melbourne couldn't afford another goal here to Carlton. They've kicked 2 already. Here's Barry Mitchell. Was he held? Umpire calling play on. And he's surrounded by Melbourne players on the boundary line. There'll be a bounce. He's had a fine season for Carlton, Terry.
And a testing time for him. There's been question marks on Barry Mitchell as to how he'd go in the big grounds and the firm conditions in September. And Lee Matthews has openly questioned that. So Barry Mitchell very, very keen to do well.
Irving and Spalding. Andy Lovell read that beautifully off the pack and brings it to the half-back line. McKay trying to get around Lovett. An ordinary hand pass, but eventually it's Peter Dean who latches onto it, onto the left boot, up towards the pocket, and a diving mark taken by the former West Coast Eagle, Dean Irving.
Played the last 3 home and away games, and now in the finals, only his 4th game for the year. Lovell. A high ball to half-back flank. Hannah. Well, that just hung in the air agonisingly for Tingo.
He had his name written all over it, didn't he?
Unbelievable.
Kick by Hannah. Curtahan underneath it this time. Clever mark behind by Mitchell. Juggle a one-hander.
Well, if he kicks this, 3 goals to nothing early is a terrific start, isn't it?
It is, yeah, reminiscent of last night with Geelong, who got away to a very fine one. But Mil Hannah, what a great luxury to have playing on the wing. He and Anthony Koutafidis giving height and strength on both sides of the ground.
Barry Mitchell certainly has resurrected his career this year with Carlton after a disappointing year with Collingwood. Kicks for goal, just offline. First miss for the game. 2-1 Carlton. Melbourne yet to score.
Neil Baum and Greg Wells looks very perturbed at the back.
He's a bit concerned, Wellesley, isn't he?
Well, he played with both clubs. Hopgood in the back pocket. So they've got a string of medium-sized players, Melbourne. Here's another one of them, Andy Lovell. And he holds up play. It's in front of the Melbourne member stand. He swings onto the left boot and brings it to centre wing. A pack develops. Madden at the back. It's a big thump away. Dyson comes in and belts it over the line. So there'll be a throw in almost on centre wing. Melbourne started the season with 5 wins on the trot. Then they fell in a hole and just qualified for the finals. There's Parkin on the phone already. Carlton haven't been lower than second since round 14. Here's Neitz up towards centre half forward. Ratton, number 7, beaten to it by Charles. Charles, nobody in front of him, goes for goal and gets the Demons first. Good man-on-man contest won by Charles.
It certainly was, and a bit of an injury cloud with Sean Charles coming into this game. He didn't train all that much during the week because of a sore foot, but certainly should have had a sore foot after kicking 5 goals straight last week against Sydney, and here he is open with one now. His pace in the forward line is a tremendous asset.
And watching, there's some pushing and shoving going on. So that changes things. Melbourne with a quick goal to Charles. He showed a lot of acceleration. Now, here's Dyson. Onto the left boot. Charles at the back. Ratton at the front. Brett Ratton trying to hook it out wide, hoping Silvani can get there. Lyon is there. It's a loose ball. Off the ground by Ratton was good play. Out wide towards Kudafidi, who's very quick. Matthew Phoebe's had a terrific season. Beautiful shepherding Matthew Phoebe. And Garry Lyon chips it further afield to half forward to Tingay. Tingay has got a loose man, and he's found Glenn Lovett, who sprints clear, and he's kicked another one for the Demons. Glenn Lovett has kicked the Demons second, and now Carlton only lead by a point.
And a couple of interesting pieces in that particular play. Garry Lyon playing out in the half-forward line, bringing Silvani out to where Melbourne think he may be a little bit susceptible to the pace of the game. And Glenn Lovett playing only his first game in 6 weeks, slotting back in at half-forward, finished it off.
In the middle, there's Glenn Lovett again, charging backwards, gets it to Tingay. Long kick inside the 50. Well done by Lyon to get it away from Silvani. Here's the speed of Charles. Taken out by Ratton, and we'll have a boundary throw in on the 50.
A classical matchup, isn't it? Silvani and Lyon, two fine players.
There's Jim Stynes, Brownlow medalist a few years ago, starting on the bench.
So half forward for the Demons. Oh, here's Dyson. He's a big kick of a football. He hooks it round the corner, Dyson. And just bounces the long way and one behind. So scores dead set level after Carlton got a flying start. 13 apiece is Kevin Dyson. Long kick, Terry.
It was been a very good effort here by Melbourne to wrest control back after Carlton started so very, very well.
Michael Sexton kicking in, straight up the centre to Madden with Irving. Rovers needed for Carlton. Kudafidis goes off the ground. Neitz grabs it for Melbourne, and his pass is perfect. Oh no, just a little bit too high for Dyson, but he's in a lot of space. Near the boundary line, goes for distance. Pike at the back, number 10, a chance. Through it goes for a behind, and the Demons have hit the front, 14 to 13.
Well, I think we're in for a classical football match here. Two pretty evenly matched sides, and Steve Silvani's in for a tough day on Garry Lyon.
The two forward lines really hold the key here, Peter. I mean, they're both very productive when they're on top and firing. Melbourne showed it all last week, and Carlton have done it consistently through the season.
Well, here's Christo to the half-back line. Good mark, Hannah. He's very strong overhead, Mill Hannah. A very versatile player. He's looking for big Harry Madden, and he marks. Oh, he holds it up to the crowd. So big Justin Madden, an ordinary kick around the corner. It might come a good play by Tingay to spoil. The ball at half forward. This is where Carlton can win or lose the game. Bongo, nearly cleared the fence. It's up to Spalding to really produce something across half forward. Stynes is on. Irving off. Half forward for Carlton.
So Stynes, having spent the first 13 and a half minutes of the game on the bench, he wins the boundary throw-in, but it's grabbed by Alvin. Well, Bond taken out of it when he didn't have it. Lovell's hand pass straight to Mitchell. Very high ball. 2-1 Carlton. Dean. In goes White. Matthew Phoebe. Long kick to centre wing. Pike down from the forward line. Stephen Phoebe rushes the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in at centre wing. Melbourne 2-2, Carlton 2-1.
Well, they'll have to be fit today. Warm conditions, beautiful conditions here at the MCG. Pretty breezy as Madden. Oh, Kudafidi's doing very, very well. Quick kick. Comes down towards half forward. It's thumped away towards Elvin. Tommy Elvin held to him. It'll have to be a bounce. Good umpiring. And that original kick came from Barry Mitchell.
218 games, Tommy Alvin. He's had a good season. Stynes really sparked into action by starting on the bench. Little kick by Matthew Phoebe to the centre of the ground. Down goes McKay. Here's Glenn Lovett for Melbourne. His hand pass, not great. Chance for Hannah. Inside 50, Milhana. Dragged the ground, ball, say the crowd. Umpire didn't agree. Umpire Brett Allen will ball it up.
Actually, some great positioning by the umpires there. They worked in tandem very well. Brian Sheehan right out on the boundary line looking in, and the other one looking in from the centre of the ground.
Yes, I thought that was good umpiring too, to call play on and then eventually bounce it, as we see Andrew Obbs towards centre wing. Brett Lovett, Norrish to half forward. And no marker. That was a hamstring stretcher, as racing after it was Martin Pike. Now that's a good matchup too, Sexton on Pike.
Yes, Sexton has Pike there. They're interchanging, Lyon and Pike interchanging up and down, as we called Peter Dean and Schwarz at centre half forward, centre half back respectively.
Madden and Steins with help from Christou. Dyson out in front of Lyon, but close to the boundary line. Sexton first there, sees the ball out. Well, Melbourne in the first round against Geelong kicked the highest score of the season, 26-18, and the fourth highest score of the season last week against the Swans, 27-5.
Yes, I don't think they'll be kicking that today. Carlton, a very good defence, as we see Steins looking for Charles, but puts it out of bounds. I mean, that Carlton defence, you've got Silvani, Dean, Christou, Sexton, McKay. They're all very, very talented players. Now, Madden versus Steins. Let's hope we don't see many free kicks in these ruck contests. Matthew Hogg, former Footscray back pocket player, brings it back towards Hannah, who's having a good game. Look at the pace of Hannah. Gave it away, then was held. Is he paying the advantage? Yes, he is. Touched off the boot. Alvin goes wide. He gets it to Spalding. Spalding, a wobbly kick towards half forward. It's play on, calls the umpires. They charge in after it. Taken away by Matthew Phoebe, who's in an outstanding season. He kicks it wide. Steins is out there with Brett Lovett. Lovett over the top to Steins. Steins can sprint clear. The little chip passes on. That's a typical little Irish kick of his. And he brings it into Schwarz, who takes the mark.
Brett Lovett has created a little bit at half forward, a couple of telling handballs to players on the run, and Steins been able to finish that one off well.
Schwarz kicked a couple of rippers against the Swans last week. This time he can't do it. In fact, he's put it out on the full.
Well, that's incredible. Last week he kicked 9 straight. Today, out of bounds on the full. Williams gets rid of Obst. Oh, here's Schwarz in it again. Well played by David Schwarz. And a beautiful kick off the left. Should have been swallowed by Varney. It wasn't. Tingay to Lovell. 65 metres out. Sexton. That's pretty deliberate. And paid by the field umpire.
I reckon that's tough. I reckon that's tough because he tried to punch it around. I reckon that's real tough. I mean, it came back. It didn't go directly across the line.
Technically, if it's going towards your goal, it should not be deemed to be out deliberately.
No, well, I agree with you, Terry. Oh, you see that every week.
A chance for Pike here. 25 metres out. Missed to the near side. 4 behind. 2-3 to 2-1.
And Peter, for what it's worth, there's another variation there. Players going outside the boundary line have their shot, and playing on, running around, are playing on outside the boundary line and should be deemed out of bounds.
Oh, Sexton marks. Now he's chipping it around towards half back. Oh, away from Mitchell. Oh, he's hit hard. Well played, Todd Viney. Great play, Todd Viney. Back it comes to Tingay, who taps it over the line. But Mitchell was hit pretty hard, hip and shoulder on the boundary line.
I think he might have heard it coming too, because he didn't attack the first ball with much conviction.
Not much space in this game of football. Here's Obst. Great tackle by Williams. Floating hand pass. Mitchell ducking the head. And he goes for the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in. Pat on the head there from his former Sydney Swans teammate Greg Williams. 15 to 13 Melbourne lead. 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
We're seeing a very good contest. Mitchell again. Taken away by Dyson. Oh, Mitchell's got to put a better effort in than that. Towards half forward for Melbourne. Oh, Matthew Phoebe tries to crash his way through the back. Hogg goes down, appealing for the free kick. I don't think it was there. Steins, further afield, this is a good hard contest. Pike, top Vardy, races in the goal. It's across the face. Charles at the back can't get back there, and did it clear the line? It did, so out on the full. Melbourne with a lot of the play, but the Carlton defence is strong as Ratton kicks it. Oh, I think he's kicked it straight here to Brett Lovett.
Yes, that was a long way away from Alvin. Lovett at right half forward for the Demons. Pokes it in short. Punched down or overrun by Koutafidis. Mitchell sops away. 14 metres out, Steins has it. Away to Charles. Not a bad snap. A goal. His second. Well, Carlton did all the scoring at the start, and since then it's been Melbourne 3-3 to nothing.
And it didn't look like Melbourne would be able to get back into the game so quickly at the outset. Carlton took immediate control, but Melbourne have been very persistent, and their play over the last 5 minutes has been extremely committed at the ball. They've been quite prepared to put their body in when it's needed to be done so.
So 8 points Melbourne lead by Justin Madden can't get his boot to it. Andrew Obst towards the half-forward line. They race at the ball. Matthew Hogg kicks it quickly out wide, but there's Melbourne players coming from everywhere. Well played by Lyon. Further afield, he gave it towards his teammate Viney. Here's Brett Lovett. Glenn Lovett goes to ground. McKay is after him. It's socket away, and the umpire will come in and bounce at the 50-metre mark. Lovett was with a wistful look on his face, speaking to the umpire. So Melbourne by 8 points. Has been a good performance after Carlton kicked the first 2 goals. And the Blues are in for a tough game. Madden and Steins. Good umpiring to call play on for that one. Here's Schwarz. Great play, David Schwarz. Racing to the goal. It's another one to the Demons. Great play. Melbourne really having a little burst of champagne football here. 4-3 to Carlton, 2-1.
And what incredible mobility for a man of that size of David Schwarz to be able to take the ball, as we can see here, he takes it with only one hand, a beautiful spin out of trouble, straighten himself under the pressure of moving forward at top pace and be able to slot it through. That's a real stimulus for Melbourne.
Carlton haven't scored since the 8-minute mark, and Melbourne have dominated the last 14 minutes. Dyson out of the middle. Charles. They're desperate back there. Ratton. Charles in after it though. And forces the ball up within scoring distance again for the Demons. He's kicked 2 on a bit of a hot streak after 5 last week. Schwarz wins the tap, going Melbourne's way. Trouble here for the Blues again. Viney. Hand pass a bit slick for Steins. He's in the goal square. Can't get boot to ball. And the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
To the Carlton supporters behind the goals, peeling for holding the ball, but I think the umpire's right again.
Well, I think they'd just be getting a little bit nervous just at the moment, Peter. The way Melbourne have come back at them, it's been tremendous football. They're hard at the ball, Melbourne.
Well, they're a committed side, Melbourne. They've got a lot of good runners, a lot of good medium-sized players. Here's Steins versus Madden. It's tapped down. Silvani hooks it through for a behind to the Demons. And the Blues supporters be a little bit worried because it's 8 shots to 3.
Alvin. Just outside the 50 now to McKay. Hannah's on his own on centre wing. He's been damaging Hannah. Lost it. Tingay. Glenn Lovett approaching the 50. Short pass. Lyon hasn't been in the action yet, Garry Lyon. Gleeson, well done. To Silvani. Across the half-back line. Hannah again. This time he's got it.
He marked it on his chest that time, Drew.
3 marks to Hannah and 5 disposals. Dropped by Spalding. Neats.
Well, you cannot afford that in the standard of football to drop those easy marks. This will cost them a goal, I reckon. Glenn Lovett races clear, rings it in towards the pocket. Sean Charles at the back. Well played, Tommy Elton. with strength. He held his ground and took the real good mark under pressure.
And a good move by David Pike, and that had to be made. Charles was just too dominant on Brett Ratten.
Here's a good mark. Kutafides playing very, very good football. He kicks long. Williams is at the back. It's a loose ball. Oh, who wanted that? Pike charged through the pack. Good play. Here's Andy Lovett on the wing. Rings it to half forward. Andrew McKay races at it. Kutafides lends a hand again. On to Christou. And Christou will bring it to half forward for Carlton.
A high kick. Obston Williams. Williams has had just 2 hand passes for the game. The ball's gone out of bounds, and the move of Andrew Obst on to Williams has certainly paid handsome dividends for the Demons. Obst 3 possessions, but Williams, I saw him a couple of weeks ago against the Eagles. He had 13 in the first quarter. 2 here. Viney. Open space up towards half forward. Just past Schwarz it goes and out.
And if Williams is not getting touches, and remembering Bradley didn't take his place in the side, and they're their 2, key players around the centre.
They certainly are. They're the ones that create opportunities for the others, for the Kutafides and the Hannahs at different stages, but particularly for Brown and Kernahan.
Well, there's Williams going to ground. A boot went in there. It is a free kick. I think it's going to Greg Williams. He was manhandled in that pack. Now, Williams. Beautiful kick. Oh, good play by Gleeson. Further afield it goes to Ratten. Here's Spalding, and he marks this one, and the Blues could do with a goal right here and now. So Earl Spalding playing against his old club and not noted for his accurate kicking. Can he do the job here from 35 metres, 45-degree angle? His head over the ball. There's the kick. It looks pretty good. It's a goal. Good kick by Earl Spalding, and the Blues bounce back. 4-4 to 3-1.
It was a very good kick there by Spalding in the end. Not renowned for his accuracy there. Parkin has made the switch there with Kernahan coming out to centre half forward to try and get into the play. Spalding back to full forward. He led well, was able to dive down on it, and has ended up kicking his first goal for the day and his 12th goal for the season.
Stones wins in the middle. Hogg breaks the tackle. Away to McKay. Kernahan drops the mark that he might have taken. Lovell. Kick by Lovell for Stones. Well, after the centre bounce, then goes off to play a sort of a ruck roving role, but it's knocked away from him by McKay, and the ball out of play.
Is that deliberate? It wasn't much different to the other end.
No, he was spoiling a player who was about to take possession of the ball, Pete.
He was stiff the other end. Centre wing. Steins, Madden, Ratten dives in on it. I just get the feeling we're in for a terrific game of football here. As Melbourne have to win.
And certainly there's enough incentive for Carlton. A berth straight into one of the preliminary finals. I think that's not to be scoffed at.
No. Madden, Glenn Lovett, Hannah, hooks it back to McKay. He's getting a few touches. Bond took front position. Good play by Bond. Mitchell kicked that very, very hurriedly. Tapped over the back by Fraser Brown. Here's Spalding, but the siren sounds to win the first quarter here at the MCG. Honours with Melbourne. They lead 4-4-28 to the Blues 3-1-19.
Carlton's way, but all in set and readiness now.
So the bounce. Madden and Irving. Steins is on the bench. There's Greg Williams, who he's hotly pressed every time he goes near it. Grabbed by Ratten. Ratten to half forward. Out they come. It's thumped the ground. They dive in on top of Gleeson is there. The Demons working overtime in the packs. And they hold it in there for a bounce. Kernahan on the bottom of the pack.
Well, we've seen very little of Stephen Kernahan. In fact, his stat sheet is a clean sheet. Accidental kick away by Ratten. There he is again, number 7. He's been shifted off Charles. Hand pass and a high tackle on Ratten. And Ratten will get the free kick about 40 metres out.
Well, it was definitely there. I mean, it was a little bit untowards, I guess. It was just in the motion of play, but Ratten making the ball his objective was the aggressor in the whole event, and the arm, I think it was Andrew Obst, went over his shoulder. Straight through at it, and Obst come in too high over the top.
So Ratten actually kicking from about 48 metres. Good looking drop punt for a goal. So now the Blues within 3 points.
David Parkin would have had a lot to say to his team at quarter time. He would have been very disappointed in the manner in which they had let what was a controlling part of the game that they had established let slip so easily to Melbourne, and he would have really fired them up for this second quarter.
So the all-important centre bounce. Who's going to bring it out? Irving grabs it, gets it to Brett Lovett. Down towards centre wing. Taken by Andrew McKay, but he's kicked away straight to Andy Lovell. Lovell wide, and a good mark, Peter Dean. A good, strong, reliable defender. Chips it out towards centre wing, and he finds Matty Hogg. So Matthew Hogg, been a fine play for a couple of seasons now for the Blues. Spalding at the back. Races after it, he's got it, keeps it in, and then eventually Neitz smothers the ball off his hands, and over the line it goes at half forward for the Blues.
Melbourne 28, Carlton 25. In the opening 3 minutes of the second quarter. It's tough in these packs. Great pick-up by Hopgood. Kick to the cricket pitch area. Hanna in front. Ball from behind by Tingay. Here's Charles with his pace. Great little hand pass to Lovett, and he's set up the Demons here. Tingay. The kick out wide. Pike.
Great kick. What a good kick, Terry.
That was a perfect place of play. The coming down the ground, the busy, heavy side of the ground was on the side, the members' side, and Pike knew that he had to go to the vacant spaces on the outer. Tingay saw him going in a perfectly weighted kick onto that lead.
So Pike kicking from just outside 40 metres. Thumps it for a goal. Well, that's great stuff again, Terry. We're getting another good final.
We certainly are. Pike leading out of the full forward position, as we identified, so perfectly into space from there. He is given an extra dimension into the forward line. Previously, it had just been Jakovic and Lyon who'd been the goal kickers. Now Schwarz has added to that group, but Martin Pike has done so very well with 5 goals last week, and his 16th for the season has given an extra group into that forward line.
So 25-34. 9 points as Williams runs into a brick wall and gets a free kick. He put the head down, burrowed in, and got the kick. Now let's see what happened. He put the head down, a little bit lucky. Down towards half forward. Kernahan. Oh, he can't mark it again. Spalding battling away down there with Sean White. White will go to the line. Was that deliberate? No, says the umpire. Not a lot different to the other one.
Not a lot different.
Anyway, he got away with it. So half forward for the Blues. Neitz is the big flyer over the back. There's Dyson, a clever little hand pass to Andy Lovell. Lovell to Tingay. Tingay to half forward for the Demons. And it's tapped back. That was by Schwarz. Here's Elvin. And it's a free kick that's going Melbourne's way. And it looks like Charles is going to receive this. It is.
Made his debut as a schoolboy a few years ago. Garry Lyon hasn't been in it, but the Demons so far haven't needed him too much. Here's Andrew McKay. Lyon applying the tackle. Silvani. Bond in front. Good chest mark.
He's quick, isn't he?
Very quick, and isn't he so much like Gavin Wanganeen? Tremendous skills.
The kick by Bond for Kernahan. He went to ground, no free kick. Brown kicked the first goal of the game. Nobody in the goal square. Oh, what a goal! Well, they're kicking them from places you wouldn't believe you could kick them from.
This is an incredible goal from Fraser Brown. Kernahan being well checked by White there and a little bit out of sorts just at this particular stage. But Fraser Brown, I'm not sure whether he had a quick look, but he knew where the sticks were and threw it in, and it did the rest.
Fraser Brown has kicked 2. Out they come through the centre. Madden almost threw it away. Umpire calling play on. The Demons try to get it out. Here's Williams going in after it. Knocked on to Kudafini's. Good play by Spalding. It's up in the air. Kernahan flies at the back. He can't mark. It's a loose ball again. Is that a free kick to Sean White? It was an Academy Award performance, and the umpire said play on, and it rolled through for a behind. behind are the Blues. 2 points the difference. Melbourne lead.
Gee, well, maybe there isn't that much between 2nd and 7th after all. Kick up towards centre wing. Oh, Lyon came from nowhere. Got it down to Neitz. Grabbed in by Tingay. Back to Tingay from Obst. Time for Stephen Tingay. A high ball. Here's Schwarz. Spoiled by Dean. Missed the grand final last year, Peter Dean. Would love to be there this year. Pike gave it up to Dean. McKay. Round the outer boundary line he goes. On the chest of Brett Lovett. Kicked by Lovett to centre half forward. Madden! Didn't take the mark, but Koutafides there to grab the crumbs. Anthony Koutafides, long to Kernahan. First mark for the game with the skipper.
What a great kick by Koutafides. Brilliant play.
And that's the dimension that Anthony Koutafides will bring to this Carlton side. Playing on the wing, he doesn't mess around with the ball. He knows exactly where he needs to go. And Stephen Kernahan was able to read that perfectly.
Looks great from behind, doesn't it? And Stephen Kernahan with his first touch at the 7.5-minute mark of the second quarter. And a straight kick will put the Blues 4 points up. They lead by those 4 points.
He's certainly the captain who's going to inspire the win. I think for Carlton to do well through this final series, Stephen Kernahan will have to continue to stand up as the goal kicking forward for them. He has been the leading goal kicker every year that he's been at the club, and his strength in that contest against White pushing back, but he took him.
Carlton by 4 points as Andy Lovell kicks forward. Silvani at the back, Lyon at the front. It's no mark. Schwarz tries to get in a hand pass. Koutafides has been terrific. Look at that hand pass to Spalding. Spalding's coming into the game. Oh, big Harry Madden. He can run on and kick a goal. Justin Madden. Fraser Brown at the back and helps it on its way. And you could hear the crowd lift as Harry Madden decided to try to sprint. Yeah, that's a hip and shoulder as he kicked it. Nothing in that.
Short pass into Hopgood. 39-34, the Blues leading. 13.5 minutes to go to half-time. Koutafides! Yes, the mark paid. Touched it about 3 times. I'm not really sure he controlled it.
Oh,
to Kernahan. And Sticks has got it.
Too big for Sean White. And too good on that occasion.
Well, a man who was right out of it for about 35 minutes. 2 marks in a minute and a half.
Koutafides is killing.
Stephen Kernahan, what a champion goal kicker he's been. Leading goal kicker at the club in all his 8 years. Oh, don't tell me. That is the worst kick of a goal kicker you've ever seen in your life.
It was only 25 metres.
Look at Craig Bradley.
Craig Bradley must be feeling that.
Oh, gee, that's a bad miss of vital. I mean, you can bury sides by kicking those sort of goals. You just can't afford to miss them. Here's Steve Phoebe bringing it out to Todd Viney. Viney, well, he's not far out from goal, actually. Now he's got a loose man there. Oh, Andy Lovell, he just cleared Gleeson. Lovell to centre wing. Irving and Madden. And backup support was by Neitz.
David Neitz up to half forward. It's too wide for Garry Lyon. And the ball out of bounds on the full. Quickly taken by McKay. Mitchell drops an absolute sitter. Kicked by Mitchell. And he's given it straight to the opposition, so that's a double whammy there.
It went about 30 metres, that kick.
Matthew Phoebe. Up to Lovett. Spoil from behind. They're in after it at ground level. Williams. Well played by Greg Williams. McKay. Christou. Gleeson spoiled. Koutafides again puts it out in front of his teammates. Spalding. Kick by Spalding. 2 against 2. Kernahan to recovery. But he couldn't get boot to ball cleanly. And Stephen Phoebe runs it through for a rush behind.
They boo the player who rushes it through like when they used to kick it back to the soccer goalie. I reckon it was a weak play to do that. I think it was sensible football. Now Steve Phoebe often kicks in for Melbourne. He's got Andy Lovett out wide, and he's going to find him with that kick. And off he goes. Lovell to centre wing, and he finds David Neitz. He's off. Neitz, a low trajectory kick, another wide kick, and Christou and Andrew Obbs help the ball on its way.
He's just let himself down there a couple of times there, hasn't he, David Neitz, with his disposal. The last 2 haven't found the mark. When coming off half-back, that's your job.
Well, Pete, a couple of weeks ago we were frustrated by Melbourne, the way they fiddled around with the ball, and if you play the flanks, they do use the ball a lot. In fact, both these teams do, but gee, the long, big kick, Koutafidis proved it. Here's Glenn Lovett. And the ball out of play.
They've got a good backline, Carlton, haven't they? They just keep harassing and tackling.
And it's a backline that's played together nearly all season, Perth. There's not too many changes in the Carlton defensive unit. And once you play with a group of players for so long, you get a real feel for each other.
Charles, just a bit of a fumble in there. Down goes Garry Lyon, who has been reasonably quiet, in fact very quiet. 3 possessions for Garry Lyon.
Well, he is on Silvani. He's a hard player to play on, and there's Jimmy Steins. He'll probably be on shortly. Silvani, a great stopper, and look at that punch. A 30-metre punch by Peter Dean over the line. And
out here, Brett Lovett has Greg Williams, so they're alternating their men on Greg Williams and doing it to a treat.
Yes, it's been Obbs and Brett Lovett who have been going on. When Brett Lovett takes him, Williams has got a few possessions because Lovett's prepared to work off him, whereas Obbs works a more closely and tighter unit on him.
Madden at the back, taps it away. Now Melbourne a chance here. Todd Viney was grabbed, and grabbed high. Free kick to Todd Viney. And Irving coming off, and Steins on as Glenn Lovett receives, kicks slightly across the face, and it hit the behind post on the full, so that's out of bounds. Michael Sexton to take the penalty kick.
In short he goes to Koutafidis, who was burning.
Oh.
That is 13 disposals for Anthony Koutafidis.
He's best on the ground in my book.
Hannah just behind the wing, pops it over the top. That wasn't a good kick for the forward, Spalding. And Spalding not happy with his delivery there. That'll be a boundary throw-in. 41 Carlton, 34 Melbourne, and we have 10 minutes to go to half-time.
And a vital 10 minutes coming up. The 2 number 11. Oh, Hannah came over the back and thumped it away. Glenn Lovett, well played by Mitchell to just shove him out of the way with his body. And over the line it goes again, slightly towards half forward for Carlton. They've looked the better side in this quarter. Barry Mitchell on screen. The 2 number 11s again. Spalding. Oh, he got across the neck of Steins. Here's Andy Lovell. Swings onto the left boot and brings it towards half forward. Up they go. Madden couldn't mark. Andrew Obbs did it well. Todd Viney sprints clear on the left. Oh, good play, Silvani. Great play, Silvani on Lyon. He's not going to get an easy kick, Garry Lyon. That was classical back play, wasn't it, Terry?
It was. So in the reach, and Barmy is getting very frustrated there. I don't know whether he was looking for the longer ball to be delivered into the square over the top of that tight lead, but it was always had to be spot on there because Silvani had Lyon well covered.
Well, they said the tall, lanky ruckman was a dinosaur of a past era, and Harry Madden has had a superb season. He wins that with a good punch away. Down goes Gleeson, taken by Dyson for Melbourne. Wheels round on the right boot. 1-out contest here. Pike with strength. Oh, well done by Pike on Sexton. Then gets one in the back and will take a free kick. Brilliant footy.
Pike always had Sexton out-positioned in that. Even in the reach for the ball, he's got Sexton well under control there and remains between him and the ball. Always going to be in a chance for a free kick.
Martin Pike has already kicked 1 goal earlier in this quarter. This to get the Demons back to within a point. Oh, he's missed everything. Well, it's almost like they haven't pumped up the balls properly. Fancy Kernahan missing his and Pike missing that.
Now a short one comes out the hand of Todd Viney's gone off and he was holding his shoulder. He's going to get some taping or something, and Hilton coming on. Here's Sexton at half-back taking a good mark. Good solid player, Sexton. Unobtrusive, doesn't get a lot of raps. Centre wing. Koutafidis is there. Look at the pace. He's going to kick long. He'll look for Kernahan. He's one out. Steve Kernahan. He's still got it. Oh, the captain kicks a goal. Great play by the big full forward. Kernahan's kicked his second, and what a vital goal that one is. 7-5 to 5-4.
A very vital goal, Peter. It just looked as though Melbourne were trying to work their way back into the game and giving themselves some opportunities. At one end, Pike misses what he should have kicked, but then it comes through the midfield, and it's that man Koutafidis again who delivers the ball onto Kernahan and makes the goal.
Well, Carlton have changed the balance a bit. Gleeson went off, and on came James Cook, so a bit of height there on the forward line. Down goes Phoebe, and will take a free kick, Matthew Phoebe.
And I think that's fair enough when you've got someone like Anthony Koutafidis dominating across the midfield and who can kick the ball long into a marking forward line.
And Gleeson had been very quiet with just 4 possessions, but he had kicked 1 goal. Kicked by Phoebe, over the back, Christou. Gee, that defence is sensational. It's tall and it's fast. Oh, Spalding. Well, Neat's caught hopelessly out of position that time. White facing Kernahan, eyeball to eyeball, but Sticks gets away from him. Kernahan goes long for the goal square. Kernahan's there. Brown. The hand pass to Kernahan, a sitter. Well, that is brilliant play by Fraser Brown.
Great play.
And Kernahan all of a sudden has kicked 3.
And what a game it is that Kernahan is so well held for a quarter of the game. But this goal purely belongs to Fraser Brown. He has about 3 goes at this ball. There's once there, twice there, quick hands over the top. Kernahan there to finish it off for him.
The Blues with a handy little buffer now after great. Look at that 53 to 34 and put that goal down to Fraser Brown. There's Matthew Hogg. Williams. Oh, look at that. The magician at work. Brings it in the full forward. Oh, it's a mark. A brilliant mark. It's taken by James Cook. Oh, this is a great burst by the Blues.
And they're using the ball so long out of the centre of the ground. They're not messing around. They have no need to change their style of play. And when you have a forward line with the marking power of Kernahan and now Cook coming in, who's a fine young talent, you would not deliver the ball any other way. We've changed now. Primke coming on, and he'll go straight, I think, to Kernahan at full forward.
So James Cook from directly in front stabs it through for a goal. The Blues are on fire. Have a look at their supporters. A brilliant 6 or 7 minutes of football. 34 plays 59.
And have kicked the last 5 goals. They've really taken control. James Cook, he has been a very good. He's just returned after a heel injury. Has only kicked 3 goals in the last 5 games, and his place in the side has been very shaky. But that was a fine mark from him.
The Blues have kicked 3 goals in the last 2.5 minutes. Madden out of the middle. Tingay. Here's Madden again. It spills to Williams. Hurried kick on the chest of Spalding. Left foot snap by Spalding. Is across the face of goal and through for a behind. Well, Pike had a kick to get Melbourne within a point, and all of a sudden the margin is 26.
And anyone who says straight kicking's not important, that really changed the game. But went down the other end, they got a goal. We see Gleeson getting some massage on his back there. It really did change the game then. Instead of being almost level, Carlton had a 2-goal buffer. So Norrish to centre wing. Hannah is there. And they pounce in on top of. Gee, I'll tell you who's controlled this game is Koutafidis. He has been magnificent with his pace and long kicking.
He certainly has. 11 kicks, 3 handballs, 4 marks. He's the one there, and I think Neil Balme should look at least finding a better opponent than Stephen Tingay for him just at the moment.
Well, he
It's got Matthew Phoebe now.
Matthew Phoebe.
Well, that might be a good matchup. He hasn't got the height, but might be able to run with him. Here's Norrish. Left footer towards the 50. Alvin. Charles not happy with the delivery.
And that was a great move by Parkin too. Alvin down there onto Charles.
Sexton from behind, no mark. Obst a little hand pass. Lyon, one of his very few kicks. And the ball's seen out by Peter Dean on the half volley.
Great play by Dean. He missed. Look at the centre breaks, Terry.
And Justin Madden has been the dominant factor there, hasn't he? His clear possession there, giving his smaller players an armchair ride.
Well, there's Andrew Obst having a snap on the left boot. And it hit the behind post, said the goal umpire. So it'll be a throw in. They need a couple of quick goals, Melbourne. They've got 5 minutes till half time. Carlton by 26 points. Let's see what they can do. Schwarz has gone out of it in this quarter. Here's Todd Viney, a chance. Great play, Viney. Now, was it touched off the boot or not? No, it wasn't. So it's out in the full. Carlton penalty kick.
It's just hard to see where those goals are going to come from just at the moment, Peter. They're not flowing through there. Look, there's even frustration behind the play there now. There's a bit of blue going on.
Here's Steins marking, but they need Lyon to start firing up on Silvani.
Oh, look at this. Glenn Lovett, 15 metres in the clear. But he's right out in the pocket, and with Harry Madden standing the mark, he'll need to get a bit of elevation with his kick.
Well, the umpire's right. That's exactly where he did take it.
Well, this needs to be a drought breaker for Melbourne. They haven't goaled for a while. That's not a goal either. Rushed through by Sexton. 4 behind. 9-6 to 5 goals 5. And a bit of a fight on behind play. This is the replay of what went on a minute ago. Dean getting involved there with Schwarz.
Here's Charles. Kicks a goal. Oh, he's kicked his third, I think. Yes! Great play by the little half forward. 9-6. Plays 6-5 as they fight back the Demons.
A most important goal there. That's only the second goal Melbourne have scored for the quarter. And Sean Charles, along with Martin Park, have been those scorers. But his elusiveness in there, it could well be enough now to spark Melbourne. They need to get at least one more before Carlton go into the break.
And what happened there was Matthew Phoebe beat Koutafidis in a one-out duel, and it resulted in a Melbourne goal. And Koutafidis hasn't been beaten too often today. So that move might work for the Demons. 9-6 Carlton, 6 goals 5 Melbourne. We've got just under 4 minutes to half time. Perfect day here in Melbourne. Warm and sunny, and what you expect finals football to be. Madden wins another one. Hannah. There's Matthew Phoebe. Half back to half forward. Schwarz. And he showed Dean the ball. Said, have a look at that, son. Kick by David Schwarz for Lyon. Garry Lyon's got it.
That's what they want.
And that's his first mark. And here we are, nearly 25 minutes into the second quarter.
Important kick, this one.
Well, we saw Kernahan have a drought and all of a sudden kick 3 goals. Will this be the start of something big for Garry Lyon? Oh, what a kick! Well, there's plenty left in this game. 13 points the difference.
Well, this is the pair of players that Melbourne really need firing. David Schwarz at centre forward and Garry Lyon at full forward. Now, you can understand why certain players are made captains of league sides. Stephen Kernahan has stood up at one end. Now Garry Lyon is looking to do his piece for his side down at the other end.
Again, the game has changed complexion. 13 points only now, the margin. Who'll get it out of the centre? That's very important. No one, in fact, this time will be a bounce. So Madden will go against Steins. Hit outs 9 to Carlton 3. Well, that's pretty typical of Carlton. As Williams gets in a hand pass to Hannah. Smothered beautifully. Well played, Stephen Phoebe. Tingay races clear. In towards full forward Martin Pike. He's got a big chance here, Pike. He waits for the bounce. He's got it. Gives a hand pass back to Charles. Back to Pike. Pike chips it across to Obbs, and that is very, very good team play by Melbourne. Obbs has found a loose man. He chips it into the pocket. And look who's there. It's Glenn Lovett. Well, has this game changed again? Unbelievable. Melbourne, Carlton getting right on top, Terry, and now Melbourne have hit back hard. If he kicks this goal, they're only 7 points down. So Glenn Lovett from a tight angle. It looks pretty good. It's a goal. Lovett has kicked 2. And now the margin is only 7 points.
And the players of Matthew Phoebe on Anthony Koutafidis, you know, he's taking some very important possessions away in that area there. But the harassment there, you know, Stephen Phoebe harassing the ball down on Hannah's handball. Tim Gay with the use of the ball, but some quick, sharp hands in the forward line. Ended up with a good goal at a very important time.
We're back in the middle. And a free kick to the Blues to be taken by Madden. 7 points the margin. Carlton, a blink of an eye ago, led by 26. Ball underfoot. Andy Lovell, a high clearing kick. Stones, chest mark. But gee, the Melbourne team has improved in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Dyson, bit of a hospital hand pass by Stones. Koutafidis was in there. Mitchell's hand pass missed the target. Ratton dragged down by Matthew Phoebe, who's lifted. Stephen Phoebe to Lovett. Hand pass by Brett Lovett. On the bounce to Obbs. Another goal coming up here, perhaps, for the D's. Glenn Lovett on the 50. Oops, a couple of steps. Play on. Play on, said the umpire. Dyson. Melbourne have plenty here. Schwarz.
No mark. He hasn't paid it.
He's going to kick a goal anyway. The margin's a point. What a comeback by the D's. 4 goals in 5 minutes.
Well, this is tremendous, Garry. David Schwarz, I mean, what an athletic man. It was clearly a mark. The umpire, for whatever reason, hasn't paid it. But then Schwarz has the agility and the nous to be able to get up, step around Silvani and put it home.
So back we go to the centre of point the margin. The Blues in front. Williams tries to hook it out too high, says the umpire. Off he goes, Greg Williams. He'll look for Kernahan. He hooks it back to Cook. It would have been a free kick down the ground anyway, but Cook is marked. James Cook has come off interchange. He's kicked 1 after a brilliant mark and he's having another shot. And whether it was a free kick down the field or not, he was going to mark it anyway, Cook. He's directly in front. He's not a bad kick of a football. A vital kick, getting close to half-time. Oh, shocker. He's only kicked it behind and just got that right on siren time. So 2 points the margin, Cherry. Unbelievable. Carlton kicked it at 4.5 goals clear, and Melbourne, to their credit, came back.
To come back to kick the last 4 goals in 4 in a period of 5 minutes was what they really need to go into this break. They'll come out of very fired upside after half-time.
And there's David Parkin, who a while ago might have thought that his rampaging Blues were going pretty well. And we're going to have a week's break next week. But now, it's no certainty. Carlton 9-7-61 leading Melbourne 9-5-59 at half.